This is going to be a hard video to make. It's taken a month and a half for me to get through it. I'm going to skim over some things, because even though it's been a year, a lot of events are still traumatic to me, and I don't feel comfortable enough to speak about them again. You can use timestamps to move around the video if you want to skip certain aspects, but this is a story of how this game series might have just saved my life. Before 2023, I would have said Minecraft was the most influential game I played. Playing it for hours on end, sleepless nights through my teens, or even Team Fortress 2, getting into gaming as a bigger picture through Steam, meeting people, trading. But ever since lockdown in 2020, everything changed. I wanted to play through all the Grand Theft Auto games, chronologically, but after finishing Vice City Stories, I feel a bit burnt out. It's not a bad game, it's probably my favourite out of the series, or one of them. But something didn't feel right. But while I was playing Vice City, I was also watching a video series called SMP Live, and so I wanted to actually play on my own SMP. Taking a week or two to find some servers, trying out like a handful of dead servers, if not more. I pushed through and found the server on Reddit called Morven. There was an application. After a week or two, I was greeted with open arms, and I recorded the series, and it was such an amazing time. Memories I'll never forget. It was beautiful. I created things I never did. Some of the biggest stuff. Nothing crazy compared to other people, but to me, it was special to me. But after half a year, things got political, and me and some others left. But after a month or two, I came back. Some people wanted me to come back as well. Thought it'd be fun. And that is when I met an old friend. Even thinking of them now, my skin crawls. We would spend hours on call every day, from talking about animals, sports, injuries, and later on deeper things such as diagnosis, as I had ASD, also known as autism, and they had ADHD along with other things. And my lack of knowledge on ADHD would come back to bite me in the future. We wanted to meet up, but sadly due to lockdown, borders were closed, so we had to be long distance for over a year nearly, which was fine. It was hard, but we did it, and honestly it was fun, for better and for worse. I'll never forget a moment. I had to really push myself with a lot of things, especially with travelling for the first time, and on top of that, being on my own, trusting another person with my life. But by that point, I did. I truly loved them. It was amazing going there. The country was Denmark. It was amazing, the place, the language, everything. It felt poetic as well. So going over there, especially with learning German, everything felt like home. And with them being on a farm and with certain animals that I've spent my life with, it felt perfect. But due to my lack of knowledge on certain things, I gave them a benefit of the doubt. I would have to parent them with a lot of things and sacrifice my own health for them. neglecting people in my life, being controlled by this person, but for nothing in return. Which is fine, as I love them, but it wasn't just neutral, it was negative. Every time I would interact with them, people that knew me would say I was decaying. Every time I interacted with her or met her, they would say I was losing a piece of myself, getting chipped away. Even her family saw the state I was in from her, which was trying to keep her safe and happy. She was like a cancer, looking back. I've recently been cleaning out my office and rooms and found some pieces of what I wrote about the relationship, trying my best to study and be better for her, and looking at some of the things I wrote down and learning more about myself and life. There were so many red flags. I was truly sacrificing myself. But I was happy. I pushed through because I loved them. But it all broke when they started doing things behind my back, which I later learned more and more and understood. Blackmailing and further manipulation, with even making me pay for certain things to the point of guilt tripping me, and getting other people in my life involved with certain aspects. Still, that act of breaking down and manipulating me to go against my word and against others for her, and then to call it off not even a week later. That killed. Being in shock, I didn't know what to say or do. I fell into a depressive state. Along with being autistic, it takes me long to process emotions, so it took me until near enough August to realise what happened. And honestly, it felt like I died, or someone I loved died. Well, to be fair, they did. Then on out, things got worse. Both my mental state, with learning more and more of what they did and will go on to do, with them further torturing me with rubbing things in my face that they did, and constantly giving me mixed messages, to the point my family got involved, and friends, them sending me horrific things that still keep me up at night. Over the next 8 months and more, I went from doctor to doctor, therapist to therapist, trying my best to survive. My number one fear is death. But ever since what they did, I don't fear it. While going through doctors and therapists and getting confirmation that I'm experiencing trauma or PTSD, it hit hard. But in a way I liked it. Not in what it was, but that someone higher up confirmed me, listened and accepted me, or what I was actually going through, didn't belittle me. But while going through that, I pushed myself to experience things through travelling around England on my own, going to football matches. The Women's Euros was amazing. Getting Dragon Ball clothes, going out drinking with friends, training so hard I lost over 30 kg, trying my best to feel something, as I didn't have a minute in a day that they were not on my head. I would cry for hours. Even my younger brother could still hear when I muffled in my bed. Every day was torturous. I would have some days where I had at least an hour, if not a few minutes, without them in my head. With the release of a game called F1 Manager, they gave me that little bit of happiness, enough to be in limbo, enough to just feel nothing and focus on something else. It didn't last long, but it was something, and it helped me survive, but the trauma was still there. But Christmas 2022 came around, and for some reason I installed a game called Resident Evil 3, the remake. Don't remember how I got the game or why. I dislike horror, and normally I just play Dragon Ball or WWE games, or FIFA mainly. But for some reason I opened it and played it. And while playing it, and being used to playing Stardew Valley with my old friend, I'm used to playing games with the wiki open, so I thought I would open that up for Resident Evil. And I found the voice actor of Jill Valentine playing the game. So while I played Resident Evil 3, I would watch her old live streams, and it made me fall in love with the game. I will always remember how much emotion I had when I killed Nemesis for the last time. And even on top of that, I'll never forget each encounter with Nemesis. The first boss fight on top of the building, trying to escape him and even dying for the first time with him, along with next to the clock tower. Because it was really weird because I didn't have a rocket launcher, or I didn't use it, but at the cutscene it had it in, and I ran out of ammo as well, so it was horrible but amazing at the same time. But especially the ending, because every time I killed him and he always came back. I'll never forget how I felt. Like, I felt it when she said,
"Next time,
take the fucking hit." I laughed and cheered near enough. It was fun. And half a year later, playing the original, I love that too. I see the flaws in the remake, but on its own, it's a great game. And it'll always have a special place in my heart. Because I followed Nicole on Twitter and Instagram, a few weeks later, after completing the game, I saw she was attending Insomnia 70. I've heard of Insomnia before through the Sidemen, and it seemed like everything aligned, so I wanted to go. But while this was happening, I made a promise to myself. I would not cut my hair until I have a full month without a suicidal attempt or thought. And that's not just a depressed thought, but actually planning to end it. So from July to April the next year, I grew my hair out, and I wanted to cosplay as Carlos. And to be fair, I thought I had the body for it as well. So the day comes around, and it was amazing, heavily overwhelming, and a lot of pain near the end. But I learnt a lot for the next time. It was my first time at a convention, first time cosplaying, and it was amazing. I met some amazing people as well that I still interact to now on Discord and Instagram. And from there into a big community, I'll never forget it, and I'm forever grateful for these people. My brother even fell in love with cosplaying and the gaming scene more, and honestly, seeing others jump up in happiness to see me, hit hard. Even if they didn't know me, just acknowledging me and was happy to see me. It meant a lot. Even Nicole herself when I saw her. But from then on, I've followed more people online, planned more conventions and cosplays with others, and it's amazing that I feel I found my people. I feel lucky, but then again, I've had to fight for my life for it. But for me, it was the first day since July 2020 that I didn't think of that person. Not even a suicidal thought. It was truly bliss. On top of that, I met Nick Apostolatus, better known as Leon, and Nicole Tompkins. It was annoying because I wanted to talk so much more with her, but my brain froze and I didn't know what to say in such small time. But she was amazing. She truly cared and gave me the same energy, if not more, back. So a few more pictures, as I felt something was off with them, which turned out to produce my favourite picture of me ever. I can't thank her enough. It might sound silly, but as I've mentioned and would say, it's the game that saved my life. If you've made it this far, thank you. This is going to be horrible to edit. I'll go through again. I've given up on attempt after attempt, so here it is. A bit emotional and put me in a vulnerable position, but it's a big thing. And how this song Wake Me Up When September Ends, I feel the same with July. I'm gonna hate it. But here I am, I'm still alive, and I finished college, starting my own business soon, and I'm so surprised I'm still here. Even the past week of making this video, I've had nightmares after nightmares about that person every night. It still hurts. But I still have Patreon accounts, because I don't have it. I'm gonna thank some people that have helped me through the year, such as Andrew, Warwick and Tony, my family. I've always believed the family you make through actions mean more than the family you are forced through blood, and those three are prime examples. They've carried me when I needed it the most, even when I was forced to neglect them by a certain person. They showed me unconditional love after a long time of me experiencing trauma. I'm forever in debt. And even the Dead by Daylight group, from Ginger Ninja, Caitlin, Ava, Ronan, and more. There's quite a few, to be fair, for letting me into a group, engaging with me, showing me a new world, accepting me. It's been amazing to interact with you all, and love talking with you, and love to talk more, and see you all in the future. And to be fair, everyone else I haven't mentioned, such as Mark and Toby, on Instagram, going to Insomnia on opposite days, but still interacting loads, getting closer, or even trauma dumping, or even trauma bonding with one of them. It means a lot when someone actually understands. I feel bad for missing people out, but there are quite a few I would like to say but also leave out, as they have helped me for a lot of the dark times. But I feel awkward to call them out here, and don't feel it's the right place. But they still mean a lot. Thank you.
ないし果たさぬ願